This is the third video in our 6-part series on rethinking our food system. If you miss any, you can go to www.gbiota.com/videos to see previous episodes. Now, we have only just begun to understand what is going on. It is really only since the start of the computer age that we've been able to create the analogy between our gut brain and a computer. We have really only just begun to recognize that we actually have a gut brain, which is continuously carrying out a logical process to keep us alive. Computers are made from very simple cells, but in huge numbers. Each cell can only do a very simple operation. Basically the magical if then do something. If A is greater than B, then increase C by 1. Not very complicated at all, but get billions of cells communicating with each other. Then we have the power of the modern computer to create these horribly complex forms we're always being asked to fill in online, but which always give an error message which we need a human to sort out. Our guts work just like a computer, except we have no idea about the code that drives them. But we do know for sure that our guts are an intelligent control system, which is automatically managing much of the mechanical operations in our body, particularly in 3 ways. It controls our appetite, so we eat the right amount. Not too little, not too much. You may read that we get fat because we're eating too many calories, and undoubtedly there is a correlation between weight and calories. But it is not the real reason. Our gut brain decides we need to store more fat, so it sends out signals for us to eat more. Then we get fat. We have developed a very high level of expertise in biochemistry. We know all about the hormones like leptin and ghrelin, but we have a much lower understanding of how our gut brain decides when to release these hormones. But we do know that it's much more sophisticated than a simple fuel level. If our gut brain senses we are lacking certain key nutrients, it will make us feel hungry, even though we may be full of energy food. Just trying to reduce calorie input while our gut brain is telling us to eat more is just not an effective strategy. We have to make sure we're getting the right nutrient balance for our bodies, and above all, make sure we are feeding our gut brain. Our gut brain is also critical in the replacement of body parts as they age and wear. Our bodies are continuously changing, not just our hair, nails and skin, but most of our body parts. Our gut brain plays a critical part in both controlling and manufacturing the specialist chemicals needed. Our gut brain also plays a key role in much of our immune system. There are now many diseases common throughout society which have increased dramatically over the last 50 years. Diabetes, heart attacks, dementia, and of course the virus. Now, it would be very wrong to say these are caused by a poor diet. These diseases have always existed, but we can say that a poor diet is an enabling factor. It enables these diseases to increase and spread dramatically. So when we talk about a food crisis, we're not talking about a general lack of food. I suspect that some clever chemist could work out a way of making digestible energy food directly from coal, oil, or even something like sawdust. There's also a very effective flavouring industry, which has already developed the technology of making boring processed foods very tasty, even to the point of making them addictive, which has dubious ethics. So the food crisis is not simply one of quantity, it is one of having food with a beneficial biota and minerals. We don't even have to invent some totally new technology. The formula has been in existence for millions of years, which should be enough to satisfy the most dubious of critics. Grow plants in mineral-rich soil and let the sugars that exude from their roots breed the beneficial biology. Then we simply eat the plants, which are natural pre- and probiotics. So we digest the biota together with their food supply, so they can breed in our guts. What could possibly go wrong? Well, according to Murphy's Law, if things can go wrong, they will. And that is the topic of the next video. If you want to know how to solve the food crisis, then watch the video series on rethinking our food system. It is important for the future of our species, so please tell your friends about this series. If you miss any, you can go to www.gbiota.com/videos.